What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this late night agenda, which will also act as our Spurs preview video. And look, ladies and gentlemen, there's no other place we can start this but with the sad news of the passing of Gerard Houllier at 73 years of age. Look, a lot of younger viewers might not remember Gerard Houllier, but I certainly will, and I'll be making a video, I suppose, maybe later on tonight with my thoughts on Gerard Houllier and what he meant to me personally. But I just want to start off the stream, obviously, by sending our condolences to Gerard's family. It is another tragic loss, unfortunately, in the year of 2020, which has been a right kick in the nuts to everybody. And this really has saddened me. Gerard Houllier played a very, very important role in Liverpool's development. Almost professionalising the club to an extent, getting rid of that drinking culture that was there beforehand and delivering that treble in 2001. And look, we all have our favourite Gerard Houllier moments, but for me it will always be Gary McAllister pinching those few yards and scoring that free kick against Everton to get us into the Champions League that year as well and win the game. It was unbelievable. It was one of many memories that I'll always have of Gerard Houllier. And look, it is a tremendously sad day for the football club, for Liverpool supporters around the world. Of course, we can't forget Aston Villa supporters here as well, and of course everybody over in France. So it's an extremely sad day, ladies and gentlemen, on that behalf. And it's gotten to me a little bit, to be honest. He's somebody who I hold in the highest of esteem, and it was lovely today to see people across the world of football paying their tributes to a man that was not only an excellent manager and along with Arsene Wenger, a visionary for the sport in England especially, just a damn fine person, and somebody who will always, anyone who's had the pleasure of interacting with Gerard would have had nothing but good things to say about him. And I've been spending the day reading these stories and articles from people as well, and it's a very, very sad day for the sport. And as I said, maybe a lot of younger people, I know Connor, the other half of this channel, as an example, he wasn't around for Gerard Houlier's time at Liverpool. I certainly was, and that treble, that game against Alaves where we scored the goal and nobody quite knew if that was the end of the match. The players were a little bit confused, and again, that was in Dortmund Stadium, which, you know, a little bit of history there with Kloppo coming down the line as well. Then, of course, we have the FA Cup, the League Cup, and Champions League qualification. So many other things that Gerard Houllier did. Bringing in Stefan Honcho, Sami Hyypiä, Didier Hamann, just as well as bringing through Steven Gerrard, turning Jamie Carragher into the man and the player that he is. And I could go on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Gerard Houllier. And I hate to start a stream on a bad or sad note, but it is the obvious place to start tonight's stream. And again, if you guys have any of your favourite memories, if you're watching this back later on, or maybe you're in the live chat now, please do feel free to share those memories of Gerard. And again, I'm aiming at people probably my age and older at this point, because it was a difficult situation that Gerrard arrived into, obviously, with the Liverpool legend and Roy Evans that was there, and they had that co-managerial situation that didn't quite work out. But whenever we talk about that, we have to be, of course, immensely respectful to Roy Evans, who as always was a complete gentleman during that process. And Gerrard took over then, and you know, there were some misses, there were some pluses. Obviously, El Hadj Diouf didn't work out too well for us when he came in, but I like to think of all the positive moments for Gerard Houllier. And look, I suppose all our minds will think back to that night against Roma, a game that we had to win by 2-0. The crowd had no idea that Gerard Houllier was going to show up, and I don't think Fabio Capello had any idea either. But then Gerard Houllier came out a couple of minutes before kickoff, embraced Fabio Capello, who was the Roma manager at the time, and we went on to win the game 2-0. And I think Mr. Capello still says to this day that if Gerard Houllier didn't arrive that night, Liverpool probably wouldn't have gone through, and you could hear it coming through in the stands. I mean, the man almost gave his life for our club, quite literally. I think it was against Leeds, if I remember correctly, where at half time he felt uncomfortable, and the club doctor wouldn't let him go out for the second half rightly, and I made him go to hospital. And Gerrard spoke in a brilliant interview with Simon Hughes on The Athletic. If you get a chance to read it, Simon Hughes wrote a wonderful article talking about his interview with Gerard Houllier, and Gerrard, you know, lays out that whole day and how there were a number of factors that went in his favour that day. And look, it was a mere 5 months after that bypass operation, which Gerrard, by the way, believes was not down to stress, but down to genetics, and that is the arteries in his family. Apparently his family have smaller arteries or something, I'm not sure, I'm not a medical expert, but yeah, that was a special night when he came back just 5 months after having that operation on his heart, where he was told to take 11 to 12 months out minimum. And the man gave everything for Liverpool Football Club and should and will always be remembered as a true great of this football club. So, Gerard, we salute you. We're saddened that you're passing, mate. And again, lots of love to everybody out there. And of course, we can't forget the Aston Villa family as well, who Gerard Houllier, I think, even delivered actually the first French league title for Paris Saint-Germain, if my memory is correct on that one. You think about Clairefontaine and what he did there as well with the French team. You could go on and on about Gerard Houlier's work. Always had a smile, always had something nice to say, and dearly, dearly loved the city of Liverpool, where he worked as a teacher when he was younger, before he even went into football. He worked, I think, he calls it the Liverpool 8 area in the interview with Simon Hughes, and he worked there, and just had so many positive things about the man. I mean, I could ramble on here, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, for 20 minutes, but I do realise that we have a show to get through. But I just wanted to share my thoughts really quickly on Gerard, some of the good memories, of course, and I'm sure each of you have your own. So look, I'll go over to the chat before I move on, because I know you guys are going to want to have something. Emil Heskey as well, Neil Davey said, yeah, he did bring Emil through when he said that. If Emil Heskey had believed in himself as much as Gerard believed in him, he could have been an even better player. Again, lovely to see the screen full of love hearts and that there today as well. Nice words from Owen and Danny Murphy today. Very genuine to Jeremy Kinsler. There were, and of course, there were lovely words from Jamie Carragher and Stephen Gerrard. And look, it's just a sad day for the sport. Even Sir Alex Ferguson, I say even, but they were very friendly. There was one situation where he said he even received a phone call from Sir Alex Ferguson around the Paul Ince situation, saying to him that it was probably the right move to move Paul Ince on at that time to, free up power in the dressing room, because they thought Paul Ince had a bit too much control at that time, and so many other bits and pieces as well. You will not find anyone who would ever say anything bad about Gerard Houllier, because he's a gentleman. And I'm just saddened that I never had the chance personally, being a little bit selfish, to meet him. But yeah, may he rest in peace. Absolutely love the man to bits, and what he did for our football club should always be remembered, 100%. RIP boss, said Captain Sal. Lovely comment that there, mate. And again, loads of people just sharing their thoughts as well. Again, yeah, somebody else said, imagine they got through and we faced them. I don't know what that's about, but again, we were very close at one point. We played I think it was Leverkusen away. We lost 4-2. And United were waiting for us in the semi-final if we had got through in that Champions League quarter-final. Just so many memories. The more I think about it, the more I could sit here talking about Gerard Houllier and all the amazing things. And I suppose the one big thing he did was, as I said, professionalising the club to an extent, getting rid of the Monday club, the old drinks, the partying, getting players to eat properly, live their life properly, represent the club in a way that he deemed fit. Always wanted to put an arm around the player or rocket up their arse, whichever they needed. And again, so sad today. Really am. It's I'm not really an emotional person about these things, but I really did think very highly of Mr. Gerard Houllier. So again, may he rest in peace, and his legacy in football will be cemented forever as one of the real visionaries of the game. So again, I could keep talking, but I'm going to carry on. And RIP, legend Gerard Houllier, I'll never walk alone. Puskas is a god, said Istanbul wouldn't have happened without him. Very true, very, very true. A lot of the players that won us that Champions League were players that Gerard Houllier brought in. And Rafa Benitez, of course, he had a massive part to play in that as well. Let's not forget that. Yeah, it's a very, very sad day. But look, we'll move on, ladies and gentlemen. The Champions League group stage draw, the Champions League last 16 draw did take place today, as did the Europa League. And for those of you who aren't aware of the Europa League, is just look out for any Manchester United or Arsenal games, and you'll find them in the Europa League along with Leicester City. But look, let's have a look at the Champions League draw. And we all know that Liverpool were drawn against RB Leipzig. Second leg, because we won the group, will take place at Anfield. But let me just bring up the draw for you guys so we can have a chat about it. Right, so this is the Champions League draw. Borussia Mönchengladbach will be taking on Manchester City. Lazio will be taking on Bayern Munich. Atletico Madrid will take on Chelsea. That's going to be a very difficult tie indeed for Frank Lampard and Chelsea. We're of course taking on RB Leipzig, with the second leg taking place at Anfield. Porto will take on Juventus. Barcelona against PSG. You wonder, will Neymar be available for that one? Those that don't know, Neymar picked up an injury last night, looked like a serious one, brought him to tears, and I'm not saying that to disrespect him, I'm saying that to just show how serious it was. So yeah, will he be back? Probably, hopefully, for that game against Barcelona. Sevilla will be taking on Jurgen Klopp's old club in Borussia Dortmund. And finally, Atalanta, the runners-up in our group, will take on Real Madrid. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about that. Those ties will of course take place in February. And before I move on to the Europa League section of it, I'll fix my camera later on. If it goes out of focus, just give me a shout and I'll fix it. I keep forgetting to do it before we do these things. So how's everybody feeling about the Champions League draw anyway? I mean, Leipzig, I think if I remember my list of priorities of teams, were second on that list. I would have liked Borussia Mönchengladbach, Leipzig, Lazio. So I'm happy with the draw. It's going to be... there are negatives of this, and the negative connotations of this will probably be that we have almost zero chance now of going in and getting Upamecano or Kanate in the January window, because Leipzig certainly aren't going to sell to the team that they're playing in the Champions League in the knockout stages a month later. So that probably rules us out of that race, which means maybe, I don't know, Per Schurz, or we'll wait and see what happens with regard to the centre-back situation. But it's not the worst of draws, folks, and it's going to be two good, entertaining games of football. I imagine that the intensity level over both those ties from both sides will be through the roof. Julian Nagelsmann will have Leipzig completely up for it, will be ready for them, and may the best team win over two legs, and I'm very much looking forward to it, I have to say. Rabadan said, Gerrard made us a modern club, a proper gentleman, and I of course echo those sentiments, Rabadan. It's a great draw, said Neil Davies. Really happy with the draw, said Juski. You'll never walk alone. Mr. Thiago Alcantara said, yeah, and I did notice earlier on, buddy, that you said you'd be back and available for that game, games, which is great to say. Great to see, excuse me. Man United page away for, or Man City page away for again. Look, the draw is what it is. Manchester City got an easier draw, like us probably, because we were group winners, so we always were going to have that second leg at home. And of course the bookies have Manchester City as favourites to win the Champions League, which always does make me smile, because I don't know how they ever justify it, because they've never won the competition. So to me, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, they'd be up there right at the top. Man City are always lucky, said Fies. Again, I wouldn't just concern ourselves with what Liverpool are doing, folks, and City will do the usual. They'll probably go out in the quarterfinals anyway. So I was expecting City to draw Newport, said Rabadan. Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised, mate, would you? You never know. Could be a ball left over from the FA Cup draw somewhere. Excited, said Hashim. Team to watch. I'm excited. Expecting a good challenge. A lot of goals from both sides. I think this is going to be very tricky, but I think we'll go through up the red, said Moroni. LFC, you'll never walk alone. What have we got? Carlton, I feel bad. I didn't know Neymar's injury was serious. I did think he was faking because he wanted Christmas off. I don't know, man. It brought him to tears genuinely yesterday. And look, I'm the first one to have a pop at Neymar usually, but again, I've always said I don't like to see any player injured, and I know you guys don't as well. Attacking side smashed us Spurs, said Jeremy Kinsella last year. Admittedly, we had injuries, but they were really strong. They're a very good team, Jeremy. Again, they've got that philosophy going right back through that the Klopp has, that Ralf Hasenhüttl has, that of course Julian Nagelsmann has, all kind of stemming from Ralf Rangnick and that philosophy of high press, high intensity football, or Gegenpressing, I suppose as it's better known. Neymar is only out for 2 weeks, I think. I hope that is the case. Genuinely, I hope the lad's back playing football as soon as possible. Do I think we'll beat Leipzig, said Kevin Shields. I do, mate, yeah, I do. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think the second leg at home is a massive plus. And look, for those that aren't aware, again, today was a big breaking news day. There are now only 4 clubs in the Premier League who are going to be able to welcome fans in after London was moved into Tier 3 in the UK's tiering system of COVID. So I think it's Liverpool, Everton of course, Southampton and Brighton are the only clubs currently allowed to have fans in. So our trip to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace on Saturday, for example, there'll be no fans in there. As we seen last night, Fulham welcomed fans in, I think for the first time this season since they've been back up to the Premier League, and you could see that. I think that got to our players a little bit, the passion of the Fulham fans. And yeah, again, I think it's a bit of an advantage to the 4 teams that are able to bring the fans in. I know it's only 2,000 fans, but you know me, folks, I call it as I see it, and I think it is an advantage to Liverpool, Everton, Southampton, and Brighton that they can have fans in. And the darts as well, it's gone mad. The darts have been selling tickets. The World Championship starts tomorrow. They can only have 1,000 in. Now they can only have 1,000 in for one day. And look, there's so many other connotations around this as well. But we'll move on to the Spurs preview in a few minutes, ladies and gents. Don't worry, I've got my predicted 11, my score predictions and all ready to go. If United can put 5 past them, we'll be fine. So George will never walk alone. Was Thiago really back for January? Yes, he should be back after Christmas. I was actually reading something James Pearce wrote earlier on, and he seems to believe as well that, you know, after Christmas we will hopefully see Thiago back. What's my opinion on fake taxi? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all adults here. We know it's a porn thing. I don't have an opinion on it, mate. I mean, I don't know if you're going into the whole Pornhub conversation here about the fact Visa and MasterCard have stopped accepting payments to that site. But look, that's a whole another conversation, mate. But what always baffled me about that is who pays for porn in this day and age? Like, that's what confused me, mate. I'll be honest. Again, you've wrote that in now, mate, 6 times. So if I see it again, Liam, you're going to get booted out of the chat, mate, for spamming. Who's winning the darts? I've got Gerwin Price. That's not me saying that. Mulsey said that. It's a difficult one, man. It's really open. But look, we've loads to get through. We'll get to the darts at some point. Don't worry. Just tuning in. So we drew Leipzig. Pretty good, said Josh Dunn. Yes, mate, we did. Second leg at Anfield, which is important. Okay, sorry, a few more comments to get through. Right, let's move on and have a look at the Europa League draw. Just for bants, ladies and gentlemen, you know, just to see who's getting who. And look, we'll concentrate on the English side of this. So, Spurs will be taking on Wolfsberger, Real Sociedad, Manchester United. That's going to be a tricky tie. Obviously, United coming up against their former player there, and Adnan Januzaj as well. It's going to be difficult. Really difficult game. Real Sociedad are in a very good vein of form at the minute, and you know, I'm not saying that they'll be able to carry that through right throughout the season, but it's a tricky enough tie there for Manchester United. Arsenal taking on Benfica, who finished runners-up in that group at Rangers, so you can only imagine the levels of banter if Benfica managed to knock Arsenal out of the Europa League. Slavia Prague versus Leicester City. That's the only other Premier League team left, I believe, and then there's some decent other games in there as well, but we won't concentrate too much on the Europa League, folks. I just wanted to bring it to your attention, because I know at times we often have Spurs fans or United fans or Arsenal fans watching, and we can't just ignore the European second division, as I like to call it. So look, ladies and gentlemen, how are we? A busy start to the stream tonight. I'm just going to fix my camera now so it doesn't go blurry, so bear with me 1 second. I forgot to do this before I started the stream, so you'll see me go widescreen now for 1 sec. Don't worry about it, I'll be back widescreen in 2 seconds. There you go, and widescreen. Click on that, click there off. There we go, all fixed. Apologies on that, I just didn't want to go out of focus during the stream again. Real Sociedad will beat Manchester United with David Silva. Bye bye Man United, said Goomy Goomster. Welcome back in, mate. I told you I'd get that account sorted for you, and as promised, Mr. Crosby got it all done and dusted. Hi Craig, I just got here. Is Matip back? I thought he was injured. So he felt some pain in his back. Jurgen Klopp is optimistic that we'll see Matip taking part in the game against Spurs coming up on Wednesday night. And again, I'll go through my predicted 11 score predictions in a few minutes for that one. Don't worry about it. But as I was saying earlier on, this probably rules us out of the Upamecano and Canade conversation with regards to a centre-back, because Leipzig won't want to sell to us when we're playing them in the Champions League the following month. So is it going to be Per Schurz? Is it going to be Ben White? Is it going to be somebody else? I really do feel, the more I think about this, the more I read on it, that we will go into that January transfer market and try and get some business done. And look, there wasn't great news as well with Diogo Jota and Costa Simicas both being ruled out for between 6 weeks and 2 months. That's not news that the gaffer would have wanted. Great that we have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain back and available now, but you know, you expect that it'll take time for Alex to, you know, be reintroduced, get up to speed, get his fitness levels back and all that. So I certainly wouldn't be expecting him to start against Spurs on Wednesday night, albeit, you know, he may get some minutes. Trying to think if there's nothing on James Milner and nothing on Naby Keita, by the way, and I've been trying to find out all day, particularly around the Naby Keita thing. And again, I was reading something from James Pearce on this, and he said it's very hard these days. Jurgen Klopp's very guarded with regards to injury news, because I suppose he just doesn't want to give other managers an advantage, and why would he? So yeah, it's very difficult to get the latest real updates on them. Thiago, we know, probably after Christmas. Then you've got Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk as well. So yeah, it's frustrating. The injuries keep on coming. The games keep on coming as well, folks. And I suppose all we can do is just try and get through one at a time and see where we are when the January transfer window opens, because we definitely need to get a centre back in. We definitely do. What have we got? Michael Foley said Jose will bully Tottenham into beating Liverpool. Again, I'll talk through the game in a couple of minutes, mate, and it's going to be tricky one, no doubt about it. Minamino played well against Fulham, said Max, and it's important to remember as well for those judging or critiquing Takumi Minamino that he's been asked to play in a new position now, and that will take some getting used to. A position that maybe he wouldn't have been asked to play in if we weren't short of bodies at the minute. So again, bear that in mind when you're critiquing or having a look at Takumi Minamino's performances. Who do I think will win the Europa League? Honestly, mate, it's so difficult to predict that. I do think it'll probably be an English team, to be fair. I think that's a good show. The MATIP scare means go for Ben White, said Carl. Where's the Craig versus the bookies? The guy that I do that with, Leon, he's actually on holidays at the minute. That's why we haven't done that segment. But I do have my predicted score for the game, and I do have the odds from Boyle Sports for it. Gareth, nice to see that you noticed that he wasn't here, but I'm sure Leon will be very happy about that. But yes, as part of this preview show, we always do have Leon from Boyle Sports, our sponsor, on, and we have a Craig versus the bookie segment, but he's away with his family for a couple of weeks right now, so hence the reason. He did actually offer to do the shows, by the way, and I could not accept it. Man's away with his family on holidays, and he's a very busy man as it is. So again, shout out to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, and if you want to sign up to Boyle Sports, there is a link in the description. If you do sign up, you will get free bets when you deposit your first £10 or first €10 and place a bet. And of course, we do urge everybody to gamble responsibly, and those bets vary. I think in Ireland you get a little bit more maybe than in the UK because of the geographical reasoning behind what they can and can't offer and stuff like that. But that's for the technical side of things. Taki was good yesterday, said George. Minamino only went down twice, so he's improving, said Captain Sal. Give Taki a chance on Wednesday, said Neil Davies. Won't be long until other teams start to pick up injuries as well, said George. I think I could be wrong on this, and I'm not. This isn't a dig at Fulham, by the way, at all, because Fulham are brilliant and fully deserve their point. I think we've played like 13 games in the same period of time that Fulham have played 8. That just goes to show you how congested the fixture schedule is. But that being said, I'm not looking for excuses to deny Fulham a well-earned point yesterday. I still have my thoughts on VAR, and you're probably sick of hearing me talking about them, but I thought Fulham fully deserved that point yesterday. I know we had a chance to win it. Curtis Jones' run, what a goal that would have been if we had to finish that off. Picked it up in our own half, just drove at the Fulham defence. They backed off, but unfortunately couldn't finish it off. Hendo missed a good chance as well. Areola made some good saves, but look, let's not kid ourselves. Fulham had a load of chances as well. I think we had possession like 75% or something like that in the game, but it just goes to show it's not worth anything unless you put the ball in the net. I still think that the Fulham fans got to our players a bit. I know that sounds really weird, but they've only had experience recently of having home fans cheering them on. And I know that they played in front of 60, 70, 80,000 people away from home as well, but I thought the Fulham fans were brilliant yesterday, very loud, got right behind their team, Fulham full of energy, and if I'm Scott Parker, looking at that will give me a lot of hope that Fulham can stay up this season. Craig, Jose Mourinho said that Spurs will smash LFC. Did he? I didn't see that anywhere, John, to be honest with you, mate. Not saying he will or won't. Are you doing a preview with expressions? I am not. What else have we got? Happy to finally catch a stream, Craig, said Jason Keane. Lovely to have you in, Jason. Thank you very much for watching, mate. Great to have you in with us. Right, what else have we got? Again, look, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in the top left-hand corner, we're only 350 subscribers away from that beautiful, beautiful number of 60,000 subscribers. If you are watching Anfield Agenda for the first time and you're enjoying the show, please do hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the video as well. It's looking very likely that we'll hit that on Wednesday night in the Spurs game, which is just unbelievable. And again, don't forget about our second channel, Mundo Sporto. There is a link in the description. I'm going to be doing United's game against Leeds on Saturday on Mundo Sporto. So again, check out that channel. We're heading towards 3,000 subscribers over there, which again is amazing. But the biggest surprise of all is that our TikTok account is blowing up a little bit. Our videos are being watched quite a lot over on TikTok. We've almost 500 followers already, and we're only on there a few days. I think our videos have had, I don't know, like 40, 50,000 views, something like that already over on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, you want to follow Anfield Agenda on there as well, please do. And again, on Instagram and on Twitter, we are just at Anfield Agenda. Really straightforward. Right, Max Adamson said, wasn't the foul though. It was a very soft push. Look, mate, I thought it was a foul personally, and I understand that my judgment isn't the be all and end all. But when you see the gaffer saying the same thing, that there was enough to gain an advantage, which is a very important point there, I thought it was a foul on Mohamed Salah, to be honest with you. And again, that view that I had, that was reinforced later on in the game, where if you remember, Ruben Loftus-Cheek leant into Jordan Henderson when he went up to head a ball, barely leant into, and the ref gave us a free kick on the edge of the box, which I thought was probably a similar amount of contact. But look, again, I'm not trying to make excuses. We weren't at the races yesterday. Fulham fully deserved their point, and I'm not going to sit here and cry about things that didn't go away. I got that out of my system during the game. What I've got? Wouldn't he barely be touched, Salah, said Max. Mate, if a Premier League manager who knows more about the sport, Max, then let's be honest, you and I will ever know. I think we can both admit that, my friend. He thought it was a push. I thought it was a push. Again, it's, this is the beauty of football, isn't it? It's not black and white. There is a grey area in the middle, and this was probably right on the line of that. So again, I can understand people calling it for both sides there. On the penalty incident, though, I genuinely think Fabinho got the ball. I know Graham Souness thinks differently, but again, I could be a bit biased on that and happy to take that on the chin. Right, ladies and gentlemen, shall we move over to the Spurs preview section of tonight's show? Excuse me 1 second. Sorry, I didn't itchy nose. I think that means you're going to have a fight with somebody, doesn't it? So, Connor, here's your cut point, buddy, for later on if you're watching this. So, let's move over, ladies and gentlemen, to the Spurs preview part of the show. And here's my score prediction for the game. There you go. I'm going for Liverpool 2, Spurs 1, and I'm expecting a very, very difficult evening at Anfield. If there's one thing Mourinho knows how to do, it's set up a team not to lose. And I fully believe he's going to have those Spurs players walking on air, feeling like they can come to Anfield and end our 65-game unbeaten run at home in the Premier League. Spurs are an excellent side, don't get me wrong. I've full respect for their abilities. Son is in tremendous form. Kane has almost reinvented himself as well, dropping back deeper to pick up the ball. Reguilon has been a very good addition for them. But to me, the Spurs signing that impresses me the most has been Højbjerg. I think that was a genius piece of business by Mourinho. He's toughened them up in that midfield a bit. But looking at the places for Spurs I think we can get at them, Hugo Lloris for me always has a mistake in him. So I would be telling our players to be shooting from distance, following up on those shots, making sure that you're following in case there's a spill or anything like that. And I think Spurs can be gotten at defensively. So, it's a mixed bag. It's not going to be easy. They're going to be very tactically aware, very well set up for the game. It's a battle of the two clubs at the top of the table. So I'm not going to sit here and be disrespectful towards Spurs. They've earned their place at the top of that table alongside us. And I'm hoping, obviously, on Wednesday that after the game, they won't be there. But look, let's go through and have a look at my predicted 11, see what you guys think. Right, here it is. And look, you probably noticed that it's the exact same predicted 11, which coincidentally happened to be the team that took to the pitch against Fulham yesterday. And I'm going for an unchanged side, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get the... I'm going for Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back, Matip and Fabinho. If Matip is able to play the game, and it's still unknown whether he will be able to start or not. If he's not, will he drop Hendo back or will he play Phillips? I would suggest he will play Phillips, but let's go with Matip being available. So Fabinho, Matip, then midfield trio of Wijnaldum, who looked absolutely shattered, by the way, against Fulham. He's played so much football this season, so maybe Taki could come in there. Hendo for me, and Curtis Jones, who, along with Fabinho and Alisson, were probably the best players on the pitch for us against Fulham. So I think Curtis Jones deserves the chance to start. Obviously, we'd have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the bench. And then for me, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah up front. The game, of course, taking place on Wednesday. We'll start our watch-along at 7:30 for that one. So that's my predicted 11, ladies and gentlemen, for the game. Let me know your thoughts on it. I'm sure, as I've read earlier on in the chat, a lot of people will be talking about Takumi Minamino, and I have no problem if he starts, but I'm expecting an unchanged lineup because I just don't think we have enough bodies at the minute to really justify making those changes. Some people earlier on were saying to me maybe give Nico Williams an opportunity because they didn't feel that Trent Alexander-Arnold was at his best during the game against Fulham, and he's coming back from injury. That is important to remember. And look, if you like my prediction there of 2-1, then make sure you get over to Boyle and get your money on. If you fancy my 2-1, it is 7-1 currently at Boyle Sports. So if you put £10 or €10 on that, you could potentially win €80 or £80. Of course, you could potentially lose it as well. But if you are going to have a flutter on the game, please do it with our betting partners and our sponsors, Boyle Sports. And there is a link in the description if you want to sign up to Boyle, just to let them know that we sent you over as well. But that's Craig's bet for the week. Liverpool to beat Spurs 2-1, and correct score 7-1 on Boyle Sports. So again, please do go over and check that one out. Sorry, there's so many things here that I have to change. Too many buttons here. Crosby's giving me too many buttons, folks. There you go. It's back off the screen. Do I think Bobby should drop back and play as an attacking midfielder and we buy a striker? Possibly. But we did buy that forward. It was Diogo Jota, and as we know, unfortunately, Diogo has been ruled out for 6 to 8 weeks with a knee injury, or I think at the back of his knee. He felt that, and you know, the scans the club said were they could have been worse. They could have been out for the entire season. They could have been better, but it doesn't need an operation, which is good news. So hopefully 6 to 8 weeks we'll have Diogo Jota back, and I know that Diogo will be working his backside off to try and get fit and available for the Reds as soon as possible. 2,000 Liverpool fans, of course, will be inside the stadium. I'm expecting, and of course there will be a huge tribute to Gerard Houlden before the game. And I'm expecting those Liverpool fans, even though they're only going to be 2,000, to make a hell of a lot of noise and make Anfield a fortress, which of course it is. 65 unbeaten, as I said, in the Premier League. But Jose and Spurs are going to come full of confidence, and they're probably going to be thinking to themselves, and their gaffer is going to be saying to them, lads, this is the time to play Liverpool. They are without Van Dijk, they are without Gomez, they are without Thiago, they are without Diogo Jota, they are without numerous other players that you can name. The injury list just keeps growing and growing and growing, so probably the right time to come and play them. But that being said, Liverpool aren't going to want to surrender. We're not going to want to give up a home record. 65 unbeaten, and it's a top of the table clash. So I think we'll be at it from the off. I think Jordan Henderson will be rallying the troops, and we can expect to see a far different Liverpool than we'd seen recently. Now, we can talk about the game, I can give my predictions and stuff, but we also have to touch on the fact that Mohamed Salah is the only Liverpool forward so far in double digits this season with 10 goals, 5 of them coming from the penalty spot. Roberto Firmino, I think, with 2 goals in the Premier League this season, and Sadio Mane currently on a run of 8 games without a goal for the Reds. And I didn't even realise the Mane had gone that long until somebody pointed it out to me, and I actually thought Sadio played decent enough against Fulham, particularly when he ran at them, and that's what I want from Sadio. I want Sadio Mane to take on defenders. Mourinho, I've no doubt, will set this game up to be a tight affair. Spurs will sit deep at times, try and soak up, go very narrow, give Liverpool the wide areas, try and stop the crosses, and then try to use the pace of Son and Bergvin, or whoever Jose Mourinho does start in the counter-attack against us, as well, of course, as little bits and pieces from set pieces. A bit of shithousery as well, because one thing we know about Mourinho is that he's tried to make that Spurs team a bit more streetwise than they once were, and I'll be keeping an eye out for Harry Kane's diving ability and being able to, let's say, invite a challenge. Is that the nice way of saying it? So yeah, keep an eye out for that type of behaviour as well. Referee for the game, as I said to you guys the other day, is Anthony Taylor, so he'll be the referee in charge. I've got a mixed opinion on Anthony Taylor. I'm not overly gone on most Premier League referees, to be fair, although I do give immense credit to Andre Mariner in the game against Fulham for actually going over, looking at that and overruling, or at least changing the decision that VAR had asked him to do, which was, I think, to at least look at it. But he said no penalty, and I respect him for that one. Yeah, I think that's about it, ladies and gentlemen, from my side with regards to the preview. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you're watching this back later on, I'd love to know your thoughts, as I said, on Gerard Houlden's passing, of course, on the game. If you're lucky enough to get a ticket, by the way, also let us know, you absolutely jammy gits. Those that have got a ticket, I'm extremely jealous of that. And of course, again, just a reminder that there are only 4 Premier League clubs now from Wednesday that will be allowed to have fans inside the grounds. Those clubs: Liverpool, Everton, Brighton and Southampton. London was moved into Tier 3, so they won't be able to have fans in. When we go to Palace on Saturday, there'll be no away fans, no home fans in there. And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the game, ladies and gents. It is going to be a really packed festive season for the Reds, but we do have this game on Wednesday, the Palace game, and then I think Liverpool have 8 days off because of the way the Premier League have structured what's, I suppose, sort of classified as a winter break, but it isn't really. So what happens is they stagger this round of games over the course of 2 weeks. So Liverpool will have 8 days off, and then the teams that haven't had the break this week or next week will have the break the following week, and they'll have times off between the games as well. So again, that's going to be great that the lads are going to get a bit of a rest over Christmas time. Next game will be on the 27th then, so not even on Boxing Day. So hopefully the lads may even be able to get a Christmas day off, or just come in for a light session, which could do them the world of good. It really could. They need a break badly. We expected them to get a bit more of a break in the Champions League. We didn't expect us to go as strong as we did against Midtjylland, of course, and that came back to bite us in the ass, unfortunately. But look, it's easy to be a genius in hindsight, isn't it? And yeah, so there you go. I'm going 2-1 to the Reds anyway. Let me know your thoughts on it, but it is not going to be an easy night's work at Anfield, because Spurs I have a lot of respect for as a team. I'd still question if they'll last the pace in the Premier League title race, to be honest with you. If they pick up a couple of injuries to Kane or to Son, I think that will have a massive impact on them. And as I said, I also highly feel that Hugo Lloris has a mistake or two in him. So I'd be telling Bobby Firmino, Salah and Mane, chase down everything. Any ball given back to Hugo Lloris, follow it in. Any shots that you take, follow it in. I'd be putting corners in on top of him. He's a very good goalkeeper. He can make world-class saves, but he can also make world-class fuck-ups. So that's my take on it. Love to know what you guys think, and go over to the chat now and see how you're all feeling. What did I buy you and Julie for Christmas? Carol wants to know. Don't know, mate, but I might treat you to a pair of those little socks like I got for my wife. And yes, folks, Lidl are selling socks, t-shirts and jumpers and stuff with the little logo on them, just in case you want to get anybody a fuck you Christmas present. Who'll score first, said Devon. I hope it's us. I really do. I mean, I don't want to be chasing the game against a Mourinho team that'll sit back and soak it up and defend and defend and defend and defend. So yeah, I hope it's us that scores first, mate. I mean, that could be a really important factor in this game. The age-old adage of, you know, whoever scores first. Dirty player Harry Kane, not a fan, said K-Dot. Phillips has been class, not stepped the foot wrong, said Fahim. Yeah, again, if no issues. If Phillips starts, if Matip isn't available, so be it. I would actually probably rather Phillips than Reece Williams, just for this particular game, because of that physicality I think that Phillips has. Is Thiago back in January? After Christmas is when he's expected back. Again, I don't want to give an absolute date, because I don't know the absolute date. Did I watch AJ versus Pulev? I absolutely did, and firstly, congratulations to AJ, but there was one point in that fight, ladies and gents, where AJ threw 3 uppercuts in a row and they landed, and I'm thinking, how on earth is Pulev still standing? But then that 1-2 that finished it all off, a little jab and then follow through with the straight right, bang, good night. And yeah, congratulations, and let's hope we all get the fight that we want now, which of course is AJ Fury. Probably the first one I'd say would take place in the States around May time, and the second one probably November, December time back in the UK. But he still has a mandatory to against Alexander Usyk that either needs to be given the go-ahead to be putting the long finger, which would probably involve Usyk getting a few quid walk away money. But you know, there's lots to think. Politics and boxing is a pain in the ass, and I don't even really want to get into it, to be honest. Funny how Craig reacts to Man United games on Mundo Sporto. What do you mean by funny how I react? I mean, I'm covering all types of different games on Mundo Sporto, but it just happens that United have had some good games recently. Obviously, the Manchester Derby, that was the bigger game to cover there on that day. United against Leeds, they absolutely despise each other, so that'll be a good game to cover, and I'm going to be fully on board the Leeds train for that one, trust me. So yeah, I'll do whatever games are the big ones on Mundo Sporto, and hopefully more sports as well moving forward. Again, we're working on something right at the minute, folks, that you're going to see some new faces on Anfield Agenda. Keep an eye out for that one. We'll be dropping that news soon. We're just finalising the arrangements with the people in question. And also from January onwards, I'm delighted to say that I'm going to be joined by Rian Brewster's father, Ian, for at least two streams a month. He's going to come on and we're going to talk about the Reds. So that's going to be great to catch up with Ian again. Ian, of course, is a massive Liverpool fan, so it'll be great to catch up with him. Loving the channel, mate. Liverpool to beat Spurs 3-0, said Callum. Thank you, Callum. Really, really appreciate your kind words, mate. Would I rather Cork or Waterford? I don't know what you mean by would I rather. I was thinking about, is that the All Ireland? But then I'm thinking, no, we're playing Mayo, aren't we, in the final? So I've no idea what that question's in relation to. Why they ignore Minamino? Feel bad for him. Who ignores him? I don't know who you're talking about, mate. If you're talking about me ignoring Minamino, I just don't think that he's fully up to speed in the position yet. And I think maybe against Palace at the weekend playing, but for me, this one, Curtis Jones, but I'm not disrespecting Taki. I've been somebody who's defended Takumi Minamino from unfair criticisms a lot, particularly by saying that he's been played in a position that he's not used to yet. Release the Oxlade at him. Yeah, he's not going to be able to start, mate. I mean, he's only coming back from, 4 months off, something like that. And he's going to have to be slowly reintroduced to get back up. But you can replicate as much as you want in training, but nothing will be able to replicate the intensity of a 90-minute Premier League game. So I don't think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be available to start, but it'd be lovely to see him get some minutes and hopefully have some type of an impact on the game, because he's certainly more than capable of it. And I love Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Hope you hit 60k, said Keanu. Thank you, mate. I hope that we will as well. I take nothing for granted. Even though we're that close, I still don't take it for granted. Like, people often say to me, how will you celebrate 100k and stuff? And we do have a plan in place, but I don't expect that we'll get to 100. We have to work our asses off to maybe get to 100k. So, again, you guys will decide whether we get there or not. People will view or they won't. It is what it is. But our watchalongs, I can say, are the most popular LFC watchalongs in the world. And I mean that sincerely. The numbers back that up. We do better numbers than anybody else around LFC watchalongs, and that's testament to both, I think, our hard work and the way our chat is and how amazing you guys are at welcoming people in. I've always said it. We've worked very hard in conjunction with our subscribers to make sure that we have a community feel on here, and we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well. And as I said, Connor and I are going to be heading over to Phoenix in California, I think in maybe October time, to do some meet and greets and stuff over there with some of the American Reds, and we've done Skype calls with the Indian supporters clubs and the South African COP. It was the Pune supporters club in India, the South African COP, and lots of other stuff as well. We take the social aspect of what we do very seriously, as well as taking the partnerships that we bring on commercially very seriously as well. We turn down probably 80% of the stuff that's pitched to us because we don't think it will be a good fit for our audience, and that goes to show you how much trust and how much belief we have in Boyle Sports, because they are an absolute dream for us to work with. Right, what else have we got? Ricky said, we will beat Liverpool. We will get them on the counter-attacks 2-0. No need to lash it in all caps there, Ricky. I would have gotten to your comment one way or the other. You're perfectly capable of it, buddy. I'm not going to, I often come on here and I'm very arrogant and I'll say Liverpool should brush aside X, Y or Z, but I'm very, very aware that this is going to be a tricky game on Wednesday night, mate, and it's going to take a big performance to wrestle away our 65 game unbeaten run, but, I'm not writing Spurs off, far from it. What's your prediction for Liverpool versus Leipzig? Way too early to give a prediction. I mean, I think we'll go through, but regards to actual predictions, we don't know who'll be playing for Leipzig. We don't know who'll be playing for us. Will we have a signing? Will Thiago be available? Will somebody else be injured? So much to think about before that. And again, the Champions League isn't going to be back till February, so just have to concentrate on the League and the FA Cup for now. Craig, is there a possibility on Luis Enrique interview? As in me interviewing the Spanish national team manager? I would say that would be between 0 and 0.0001%, mate. Have I ever met Redmen TV? No, I haven't. I've never met Paul or Chris. I talked to Jack Gill a little bit. I did stuff with Jack Gill a long time back before he was with Redmen. He's a lovely guy, but no, I've never met the guys. Who actually there is? We do chat with who's the other gentleman that does stuff with them? Ross of Redmen. We chat with him. He's very, very nice guy as well, but I've never had the pleasure to chat to either of the other lads. I'm going the same prediction as you, Craig, 2-1. And again, if you do agree with my prediction and David's prediction, then 2-1 is 7-1 on Boyle Sports, ladies and gents. So possible 80 quid payout there if you put on a tenner, or a possible tenner loss, because we do want you to gamble responsibly. Daddy Dog's going for a 3-1 win to the Reds. When is Oxlade-Chamberlain going to start? Said Vins, please. Whenever he gets up to speed with the minutes, mate, you have to be careful coming back from such a long time out, and you can't just be put in and play. So what usually happens is maybe 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, then half an hour perhaps, then maybe he'll get the first 60 in a game, and we'll have to build it up gradually. So I hope he gets minutes against Spurs, because he could definitely have an impact. Best we Spurs can hope for is a draw, said Jeremy Kinsler. We're terrible at Anfield, never win there. I mean, I get where you're coming from, mate, but I'm not going to take anything for granted, because this season's thrown up so many anomalies that, it's difficult to predict anything. Oh, you mean Jose Enrique? Sorry, I was thinking of Luis Enrique. My head's just gone. Sorry, you mean the former Liverpool player? I'm sorry, man. My brain went. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, my brain went there, mate. Sorry. Have I ever had an argument with Mark Goldbridge? No. I'm like, why would I? Do you know what I mean? No. All I've ever really had from Mark Goldbridge when we speak is kindness, advice, help. Yeah, himself and Drawdy are good friends of the channel, and you'll never see me say a bad thing about Mark since I've gotten to know him. He's a stand-up guy, and no, I've never had an argument with him. I'm sure we'll disagree a lot of the time on football stuff, because I despise his club and he hates ours, but no, I can't say I've ever had an argument with him. I'm not really somebody who gets into beefs or anything like that, and if I do, I certainly wouldn't be doing them publicly. I try and keep everything private, and I'd reach out to somebody rather than have a spat with them on social media if I ever did have a disagreement on stuff. Who's more likely to be back this season, Gomez or VVD? I would suggest they'll both be back this season, but probably very late in the season for Van Dijk. Maybe Gomez, I would say, of the two, but again, man, I don't want to give anybody false hope here, so I'm just guessing. Thanks for reading my comment, you're a legend. It is my absolute pleasure, David. We are a community on here, mate, and I try and get through as many comments as I can, and WFM to you too as well, my friend, WFM. Jack Deegan, how are you, sir? Lovely to see you back in again. Late in stream, thoughts on the Champions League draw? No problem. Look, let's quickly have a look at the Champions League draw again. For those who are coming a little bit late, we'll go through it. This is the draw. Mönchengladbach are going to be taking on Manchester City. All the teams on the right hand side of this, by the way, will have the second leg at home because they won their group in the Champions League. Lazio will be taking on the current holders Bayern Munich. Atletico Madrid travel to London for the second leg to take on Chelsea. Leipzig, of course, taking on Liverpool. Who else we got there? Porto taking on Juventus. I think I skipped over that game earlier on, actually, when I was talking about the ties. Excuse me. And then we have Barcelona against PSG. That's a cracker of a tie. Both sides not in the form that they would hope to be in, but February's a long way off. Then we've got Sevilla against Borussia Dortmund, and the last one is the runners-up of our group, Atalanta, taking on Real Madrid. So that is the Champions League draw, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm hopeful that we'll go through. My prediction for the Spurs game is also at the bottom of the screen there, 2-1. And yeah, look, it's February before we get back to Champions League football, so hopefully we're in a good place in the league at that point, and still in the FA Cup, fingers crossed. Do I think that no Jota will make an impact? Yes, of course, Keanu. It severely limits our attacking options because, as I've said, I don't know what's up with Divock Origi. It just doesn't look the player anymore that's cut out for this level at our club at this moment in time. Takumi Minamino, I hope if we get players back, he will be given an option to play in a forward position rather than attacking midfield position. Other than that, though, yeah, we're kind of struggling. And yes, Diogo Jota's not having him around will have a massive impact on who Klopp can rotate, how many minutes the players will need to play, and it will be asking a lot of our front three once again. Who do we play if we go through? That draw hasn't been made yet, buddy. So what happens is they'll make the quarterfinal and semi-final draw. And then the next round after this, if we were to go through, we would be eligible to take on another English side. You can't in the last 16. 2-0 is what Stephen Phoenix is going for. Salah to score twice. All these games were drawn 1-1. Thiago was definitely the key. Yeah, I mean, that Fulham game would have been a model for Thiago to be in there, trying to unlock that Fulham defence. Definitely we could have done with Thiago. I mean, yeah, it's been so hard, isn't it, not being able to see Thiago on the pitch for the Reds. I mean, we got a little teaser in the 45 minutes against Chelsea, and obviously the game that he somehow managed to finish against Everton. But hopefully we'll have Thiago back soon enough. After Christmas, for those asking, seems to be the general consensus. Nathan said, Origi doesn't fit our system. I don't think he's necessarily bad, just isn't great at pressing. I'm not calling Origi a shit footballer by any means, mate, and I think you may have a very valid point. Divock Origi has done so much for this club that, you know, big moments that will always garner respect from me. But, you know, I would be sitting here lying to you if I said I thought that he was going to be a difference maker for us. I don't think he can make that difference. And with Belgium obviously being in the Euros, he's going to want to try and force his way into Roberto Martinez's side. So I would suggest that maybe Divock could try and engineer away a move in January, but that could be out the window now, depending on how long Diogo Jota is out for. So could be towards the end of the January window, maybe, when Diogo Jota is getting back, if Divock Origi's looking to find a way out. And of course Shaqiri as well. It's gone very quiet. I've no updates on his injury either. As I said, the manager is very guarded these days in giving out that information. Not that he's ever been giving it to me, I mean to journalists and the public in general. Chris Legit said, I'm going to say 3-1 Liverpool with a huge rebound game versus Spurs. I hope you're right, Chris. And again, if you, like Chris, want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is hit that join button. Membership's $4.99 a month. You get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name. You get all the emojis, and you get access to our exclusive Discord group where we share lots of different bits and pieces, transfer information, breaking news stories, loads of stuff, all the stuff that's coming up on the channel as well. So again, thank you to those. We got a good few members actually during the Watchalong sign up yesterday, which was great. So thank you to everybody else. And again, thank you. We hit 56,000 views on that Watchalong, which was brilliant. Again, thank you for your support. Craig, where did you get that red and black Liverpool shirt? It looks great. I think I got this directly from Nike, but I think it's available in the club shop. It's just the pre-match shirt for the European games, mate. That's what this jersey is. I got mine, I think, directly from Nike, though, if my memory's correct. I mean, I've got a lot of the Nike gear this year. My wife treated me to the 2 hoodies, and I've got the tracksuit top, the home shirt, the away shirt, and this. So, yeah, just for me directly from the Nike store, but you are able to get them on the club shop as well. Both PSG and Barca have been a shambles. They have, mate. They really have. I watched Barcelona's game last night, in which Messi saved them yet again with a goal and a very good finish. But there's just not the Barcelona of old, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on at that club, presidential elections, the Messi contract situation. And look, PSG, I watch them and I just think, is there a plan? Tuchel's gone at the end of the season if he even lasts that long. And they had the best chance to win that, I think, last year, but I think we got the correct winners last year's competition. Bayern Munich, to me, were far and away the best side and thoroughly deserved their win. Origi just isn't a good fit for us anymore. Sajewski will never walk alone. Most of our creative players are injured, to be honest. Shaqiri, Keita, Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain. And when we're stuck with these games, Jota will... These sort of games. Yes, but don't forget, Curtis Jones is stepping up as well. And again, it is great to see that Curtis Jones is now, you know, fully in the manager's thinking with regards to team selections. Hina's going for a Liverpool draw, 1-1. Joanne said, and I refuse to say the first 2 words there, Joanne. I always say Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or Chambo. I refuse to use that term. But let's just say Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has just come back. So I'd expect Curtis Jones to start instead. That was my predicted 11. And look, for those coming in a little bit late that want to look at my predicted 11 again, here you go. But shock horror, I'm predicting the exact same starting 11 that took to the field against Fulham. So Alisson, Trent, Robbo, Matip, Fabinho, Hendo, Jones, Wijnaldum, Mane, Firmino and Salah as my predicted 11. And we will be live on Wednesday at 7:30, ladies and gentlemen, for that one. So again, hope you can join us for it. Somebody said United stand is better. Well done, Joseph. Well done. Congratulations, mate. And so they should be better. They are a channel that are going to hit 1 million subscribers. They are very well run content. I don't know what the fuck your point is, Joseph. I mean, the amount of these stupid little comments with is hilarious. Yeah, they should be better. They're like 7 years at this or something, and they've built up a great following, and I've nothing but respect for them, and I would never think that we are better. So I don't know what to say to you, Joseph, mate. I don't know what your fucking point is here. I mean, this is a Liverpool fan channel, not a United fan channel. So, you know, I know that comparison, it's one that I always giggle at, because myself and Mark, I get called the BTEC Goldbridge all the time. I mean, all the time. But, you know, the funny thing is we couldn't be any more different in personality type. I think we're both good at what we do in different ways. I mean, Mark, his social media game is top notch, absolutely top notch. But yeah, I don't understand what the fuck your point is, mate. Honestly, bring something to the conversation or fuck off, Joseph. It's as simple as that, pal. I haven't got the energy to be dealing with you little dickheads at this moment in time, mate. Is Matip going to play for sure? Not for sure, no. The manager thought that it was possible that he's going to be available for Wednesday. We just felt a pain in his back. But again, I don't want to give anyone anything for sure. Don't know if I can join on Wednesday. Too painful of Spurs, Lou. Jeremy, man, you watch the game, enjoy yourself, pal, and do whatever works for you. Appreciate you being in here and appreciate you being a regular on the channel, mate. But I get where you're coming from. It's all good. Fino Man said, love you, Craig, love you too, love all of you guys. As you know, this channel means the world to me, and what you guys have done for me and Connor and me personally I can speak about. I mean, you've saved me from, you know, the depths of despair at times when I've been down, gone through a bad period in my life. And again, actually, I wanted to just talk about something for a real quick second. There is a link in the description below that you guys might be wondering what the hell it's about. It's a link to New Hemp, and it's newhemp.co.uk, and I'm proud to say that I've become an ambassador for New Hemp. New Hemp sells CBD, which has been very beneficial to me over the past 3 weeks since I've started taking it. It's been very beneficial to a lot of other people as well. And I'm not taking any money for this. I'm not taking any money from the 20% off code that we have for you guys. I just want other people to save money. And if you're going to try CBD, if you think it's something that may work for you, give New Hemp a try. I can promise you it's an excellent company run by a family in the UK. And we have a 20% off code for anyone. Just use WFM20 at newhemp.co.uk. And again, this has nothing to do with Anfield agenda. This is me personally. I've become an ambassador for New Hemp because it's been brilliant for me and it's been brilliant for other people I've known. So if you are going to think of giving CBD a try, if you think maybe inflammation or anxiety or sleep issues, feel free to use our code there and get 20% off. And I promise you, I'm not making a penny from that. I wanted you guys to get that discount and not me to get that. I could have easily came on here, got a code for you guys and made a few quid myself. But no, I'm very passionate about the benefits of this, so I want as many people as possible to have access to it. So if being able to lower the price by 20% helps someone out, have at it, man. I'm all about love, you know that. What do I think of Taki's work rate? Top notch. Absolutely top notch. Works his ass off, man. Charlie said, I love that you respect all people on this platform. I may be a United fan, but big respect for Liverpool. Thank you. I have one simple rule on here, Charlie. If you come in and you show us respect, I promise you will get that back, man, and you will continue to get that. But if you come in and act like a dickhead, I don't have the patience or time to deal with you, and I don't want people like that making our chat toxic, so we kick you out. It's as simple as that. It may have cost us tens of thousands of subscribers, but I'd rather have less subscribers and a happy chat room, because the way I look at it is people are stressed, people have a lot of shit going on in their lives, and they come in here for a bit of fun and release and have a laugh with like-minded people. And as you pointed out, man, we may support different teams, but you know, we all love the sport, and I will always be respectful. People pull comments of me having a go at people and saying, oh, look at this angry dickhead just running down people. No, if you notice, I only ever respond. I never instigate any argument, because it's not the way I treat people. I want people to be shown respect, and thank you for pointing that out, man. I really appreciate it. That means the world to me. How annoyed were you against Fulham, and is there a chance we'll sign a centre back in January? Very annoyed for the fact that we just didn't show up, particularly in the first half, mate. We were horrendous. I think Fulham deserved their point in the game. I've talked about the VAR things, and yes, I do think we'll sign a centre back in January, and I hope that deal's already in place, and that you know, I don't know who it is, but I hope it's in place, and I hope it's done early in the window. I get tinnitus in my left ear. Tinnitus. I said tinnitus in my left ear, and I'm 14. Ooh, I hope that can get sorted for you, buddy. Very worried about Son, said Luke. He's in world-class form right now. Only needs a chance to hurt us. Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, Son is an excellent player, man, and I'm with you. He could just take 1 second, and he can pull out a worldie. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. What have we got? Matthew said, great content, love from a Chelsea fan. Thank you very much, Matthew, and lots of love right back to you as well, buddy. I'd like to meet you one day, said David the Haas. Look, We have, as I said, we're going over to America in October time, hopefully, to Phoenix in California to meet up with some Liverpool fans over there. We were in Orlando last year. We did a meet and greet in Liverpool in Beer Keller there for the last game of the season when when City pipped us to the title. And we're going to be doing meet and greets around Ireland as well. Just to come out and meet Liverpool fans and say thank you for supporting the channel. So we're hoping to do like Dublin, Cork, Belfast, Galway. I think that's everywhere in Ireland, and then obviously over to the UK. But you know where the world is right now, folks. It's hard to make any plans. But yeah, I'd love to meet each and every one of you as well and say thank you and shake your hand for supporting the channel, or maybe a fist bump these days. Actually, I'm more of a hugger, I'll be honest with you. You'll probably get a big fucking hug off me rather than a handshake. Do I think Thiago will be ready for the next game? No, Thiago won't be ready, mate. I mean, there is a chance maybe that Thiago will be somewhat getting back to availability for the game on the 27th, but even at that, wouldn't be expecting him to start straight away when he does come back. Piyush, let me just say, mate, Piyush113, you will never again see me on that channel, mate. I went on that channel once. I was treated not well, I think it's fair to say. I think I was ambushed on there. And you will never ever see me on there again, or you will never see me mention that gentleman by name again. And I don't hold him in the highest of esteem, put it that way. A Norwich fan in the house, Callum, how are you, buddy? Lovely to see you in. Maybe give us a bit of an update, man. What's going on there with regards to one of your players that I've been keeping an eye on for a while, Todd Cantwell? How is he getting on this season, Callum? We better keep... I've usually finished, by the way, now, ladies and gentlemen, but... You know, if you want me to carry on for an extra 10 or 15 minutes tonight, give me a thumbs up in the chat and I'm happy to do it. I know that there's a lot of stuff I missed out on, so yeah, there you go. Right, what have we got? Craig's changing his surname to Klopp. I wish, yeah. Well, maybe name me Little Man Klopp instead. You know what I mean by Little Man, I don't mean my son. Will Matip play for sure versus Spurs? No, I can't say for sure, Yusuf. No, I can't give you that guarantee, man. You'll have to wait for the manager. I think he will. I hope he will. It doesn't feel like Thiago playing for Liverpool is real. I know I've seen a few people joking like, oh, this Thiago fella will be signing in January, it'll be great. And yeah, look, we've signed him for 4 years. And I know in the moment it feels like an eternity. And I get the frustration, but... Yeah, look, he's a Liverpool player and that's great to see, and hopefully for the business end of the season we'll have Thiago in there and he can help us to go back to back, because I still believe we're going back to back, folks. Just think it could be worse. We could be Arsenal fans, said Carl. Yeah, I mean, what was Xhaka at in that game, by the way? Absolute stupidity of the highest order. Yeah, look, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but... There's not good times there at all. How would I feel about a draw with Tottenham? Again, Ryan, it depends how it comes about, mate. I mean, if we both play to the height of our abilities, it's a cracking game, and we come away with a 2-2 and we've got a late equaliser, we'll probably feel a lot more positive than if we were 2-0 up and Spurs pegged us back and we drew 2-2. So yeah, it's difficult to say how I'd feel without knowing how the game goes, mate. But in the grand scheme of things, let's just use an example. That would mean if we drew and United won their game, they'd be level on points with us if they won the game in hand. Yeah, I think that's right. So hopefully we get the 3, man. Right, I will stay on for a few more minutes. Thank you to everyone that gave a thumbs up there. And again, if you are enjoying the stream, maybe you're new in, please take a sec, hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video as well. Craig, would you like a kiss on the forehead? But you're Craig, my lucky Irish dude. Mate, if we ever meet, feel free to slap one on this big forehead. No problem whatsoever, mate. I'd rather you slap a kiss on there than a baseball bat. Is there any chance we'll get more than 2,000 fans in the stadium? Love the content, keep up the good work. Not tomorrow, buddy, but, you know, like everything, this will constantly be reassessed by the UK government. And I know the Premier League clubs have worked so hard to try and make sure that there are ways fans can get back to games safely, and, you know, it's a kind of wait and see situation. Carl said Jolly Boy's outing to Margate. Definitely need to get over and see you and Julie, mate, but that won't be an Anfield agenda thing. That'll be myself and the missus going over to meet yourself and Julie like we were supposed to before, and, you know, Lucas had a hospital appointment that we couldn't miss, so unfortunately that one went tits up as well. Arsenal are just pure comedy at the moment, said Juski. Yeah, they are, look, but, you know, it's not our problem, with all due respect. Some channels have member chat only. I think that's an unfair way. What do I think of them? Well, look, firstly, let me say, Carl, I will never judge any other channel on what they do. Each channel is free to run the channel as they see fit. I can say to you that from our point of view, we could make a lot more money off Anfield Agenda. A hell of a lot more money. As I said, we turn down maybe 80% of the people that approach us to do stuff with them because we don't think it's a good fit. But what we've always said from day one, Carl, is that we will never make our channel unavailable to people because of financial circumstances. So we will never turn on members only chat. We will never put our content behind a paywall. It's just something we feel very passionate about. We don't want money to be an issue for anybody at Anfield Agenda. We want people, young or old, rich or poor, black or white, or whatever, to be able to associate with our channel and to be able to come in and share their thoughts. And I'm not judging anybody that does it, each to their own, as I said, but I can only speak from our perspective. And for myself and Connor, we're happy to sacrifice short-term gain financially for long-term stability, growth, buy-in from our fan base. And it feels weird saying fan base, sorry if that felt cringy, because it did to me. But yeah, look, it means a lot to us that you guys give up your time. You could watch any channel. People come in and join us. We think that's amazing. And look, do we want super chats and memberships? Yes, of course we do. We want to push on to the next level, but we will never put a financial barrier up between our content and people. It's just not what we're going to do. We'll try and find more intuitive ways, or more innovative ways, I should say, to get around that. And like the likes of our partnership with Boyle Sports, that's allowed Connor to go pretty much full time at Anfield Agenda, which is amazing. Which means it'll benefit us because you see the new studios we're getting and all that type of stuff. I could get into the real nitty gritty of this channel with you, but that's maybe for another day. Have I ever been to Anfield? Yes, mate. I know you're not having a dig. I know it's a genuine question. I've been to Anfield in excess of 50 times, mate. I've been to 2 European Cup finals. I've been to a lot of games. And if so, when was the last time you went? I was only trying to think of this the other day. Somebody asked me this. I think it was the last home game of the season a couple of seasons ago. I was supposed to go to the Villa game last year. One of our subscribers actually were giving up their season tickets to us for that Villa game. We had our flights booked, our hotel booked, and then we all know what happened with the world, and football got cancelled for a while, so we didn't get to get over, and that was frustrating because it would have been lovely to get over to Anfield for another game. And yeah, if anybody ever does get the chance to experience Anfield, my suggestion would always be try go to a European game. Maybe that's just me. I love watching the Reds under the lights, and a European night at Anfield is always special. I've been at Anfield for some great games. The 4-0 game where we beat Everton, where Roberto Martinez and Brendan Rodgers were vying for that last Champions League spot. Lukaku unfortunately picked up an ACL for them that night, and I said wish injury on any player. We were brilliant. We absolutely destroyed them. I was also there for the 1-1 draw where Jagielka scored an absolute worldie, and Everton got a point from that game I don't think they deserved. I've been to some great games at Anfield as well over the years, and I've been lucky to bring my daughter over as well, and so she's got to experience a game at Anfield, and hopefully bring my son Lucas over at some point as well. Maybe he'll need his ear defenders on, but it's a wonderful place if you get a chance. Even if you just get a chance to visit the city of Liverpool, it is a special place filled with special people. I love the Scouser sense of humour. I love how welcoming they are. I love the city, man. It's just a cracking place to go. Really one of the best channels on YouTube. Really enjoy your content, said Kevin Ball. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird thinking of myself as a YouTuber, but without YouTube and without you guys, I wouldn't have had so many experiences in my life. That Barcelona game will sit with me forever. No matter what else I do in life, that's going to be a moment I treasure. And again, look, we're on TikTok now. I know it's so weird saying this, but we're on TikTok now as well. And we're starting to do alright on it. We've only been on there a few days, I think. So if you're on TikTok, search Anfield Agenda, give us a follow on there, watch some of the videos. And again, if you're on Instagram, we're closing in on 30,000 Instagram followers because of all the great work that Connor's doing over there as well. So it's just at Anfield Agenda on Instagram and at Anfield Agenda on Twitter as well, if you want to give us a follow on either of those. And for me, it's just at Craig Houlden, Houlden, if you're on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram on a personal level, because who the fuck wants to look at me all the time? Carl, thank you for the super chat, and it's, in relation to Gerard Houllier, who of course, I spoke about it at the start of the stream, but I'm very saddened personally from the passing of Gerard Houllier. It's hit me harder than I thought it would. I'll tell you how my day started today. I woke up this morning and I looked at my phone, and I had a message from Lee Chappie. You know Lee Chappie, Leicester City fan, good friend of mine, absolute top bloke. If you don't know who he is, he's the Jamie Vardy lookalike. So I had a message on my phone from Lee Chappie. I say I woke up this morning. You know that's a lie. I woke up this afternoon because I only go to bed about 6 or 7 a.m. So I woke up, I looked at my phone, and I had a message from Lee Chappie, and it said, really sorry to hear about the massive loss for your club, mate. Hope you're okay. And I had no idea what was going on. And I looked at my phone and I thought, oh no, please, please, please. And immediately my brain went to Sir Kenny Dalglish. And I was thinking, oh please, no. So I opened up my phone, went to Sky Sports News straight away, opened it, and I see that Gerard Houllier has passed away, and my heart sunk. It just hit me like a brick in the face. So yeah, the day didn't get off to the greatest of starts today, but again, shows you what a gentleman Lee Chappie is, by the way. Like that, reaching out. It's one of the reasons I hold the guy in such high esteem. Check out his channel, Chappie TV, as well if you haven't. Great Leicester City fan, top bloke, makes great content as well. Anyone going to the game on Wednesday? Oh, I'm so jealous. If anybody is going, enjoy yourself, have a cracker. The Alaves UEFA Cup finals on LFC TV. 4-3, and I've paused it to take part in some Anfield agenda. Nice one, an armchair, and that was a mad game, wasn't it? An absolute mad game. I remember Johan Cruyff's son, playing for Alaves in that game as well, and God, we made hard work of that. Robbo's a fantastic player, best left back in the world, said Jake. I absolutely love Robbo for so many reasons. His sense of humour, obviously his footballing ability, but his character and his heart. Just an absolute top fella. Leicester fans are sound, said an armchair. What else have we got? That shoreline is a little biased. Shoreline? Do you mean scoreline? How is it biased? You do know this is a Liverpool channel, Mike, right? You're aware of that, pal, yeah? So, of course, I've said I'm predicting a Liverpool win. But I also said it's going to be a very, very, very hard game. So I don't know how the fuck it's disrespectful, mate. What do you want me to do? Predict Spurs to beat us 7-0 just to make you happy? I mean, they're my predictions, mate. If you don't agree with them, no problem. But we're 65 games unbeaten. We're at home. What would you predict yourself, mate, if you're a Liverpool fan? Would you be predicting a loss? Definitely not a Liverpool win. Okay, Mike. With the form we're on, fair enough, man. You're a Spurs fan. You're absolutely entitled to believe you'll come to Anfield and win. And I won't rule it out because you're a very good side, as you've pointed out. But if anybody's been a little bit arrogant in this conversation, pal, it ain't fucking me. I can promise you that. Maybe have a little look at the way you're putting your comments in and the tone behind them, pal, before you start having a pop. Chelsea versus Atletico is interesting, said an armchair. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, Chelsea do have the second leg at Stamford Bridge, which, you know, it's always great to have the second leg at home. An armchair said, would have preferred Borussia Mönchengladbach. I would have loved to have played Mönchengladbach. Proper old school tie, that one. But look, Leipzig is a cracking game as well. It's going to be a very good 2 legs. Great, again, to have the second leg at Anfield, and Thiago will hopefully be back and raring for that one, so fingers crossed. And of course we may make a signing in the January window as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodnight to you all. I'll be back tomorrow with another late night agenda. I hope that you're all well. Stay safe. Lots of love to each and every one of you. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. But most importantly, as I always finish up, take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the Reds. I will chat to you wonderfully.